Hello dear viewers. Today's story is about Tu Tien, a brave young woman who overcame a devastating flood that destroyed her beloved wooden house. Thanks to the love and support of me Loy and CEO Jack, she was gifted a beautiful white villa, where she found new hope and happiness in her life. If you enjoy heartfelt and meaningful stories like this, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you won't miss more exciting content coming up. Thank you all so much. After the devastating flood had swept through the village, Tu Tien's humble wooden house stood battered and broken. The once cozy and warm sanctuary she called home was now buried beneath layers of thick, heavy mud and debris. Water had surged violently through the fragile walls, tearing apart furniture, soaking her treasured belongings, and leaving an unmistakable scent of dampness and loss lingering in the air. The floorboards, warped and swollen from the relentless floodwaters, creaked ominously beneath her cautious steps as she surveyed the damage. It was a heartbreaking sight. The place that had sheltered her through countless nights now lay in ruins, stripped of its comfort and charm. Tu Tien's heart ached as she looked around, memories flooding her mind as vividly as the waters that had invaded her home. Each corner held a story: the worn wooden rocking chair by the window where she had spent peaceful afternoons reading, the small kitchen nook where she once cooked meals with joy, and the faded curtains that had danced gently with the breeze. Now, all of it was soaked, ruined, and unlivable. The overwhelming sense of loss pressed down on her chest like a heavy weight, threatening to crush the flicker of hope she still tried to hold on to. Word of the flood's destruction quickly reached me Loy and CEO Jack, two people who had become her closest allies and family in this time of turmoil. When they arrived, their faces were etched with concern and compassion, their eyes scanning the devastated scene with silent sorrow. Loy's hands trembled slightly as she stepped inside, her heart breaking to see Tu Tien's refuge reduced to such a sorry state. Jack, usually composed and confident, was visibly shaken by the damage and the toll it had taken on the woman he loved. Without hesitation, Loy took Tu Tien's hands into her own, her voice soft but filled with unwavering support. "You don't have to face this alone. Come with us. We have a place where you can stay, where you'll be safe and cared for." Jack nodded beside her, his gaze steady and reassuring. "We'll help you rebuild, stronger, better than before. You deserve that and so much more." Tu Tien's eyes welled with tears, a mixture of gratitude and relief washing over her like a soothing balm. The kindness in their offer was like a beacon of light piercing through the dark storm that had engulfed her life. Though her heart still ached for the home she had lost, she felt a renewed strength bloom within her, fueled by the love and generosity of those standing beside her. As she packed the few belongings salvageable from the wreckage, she couldn't help but glance back one last time at the ruined house. It was a painful farewell, but she knew deep down this was not the end. It was the beginning of a new chapter, one where she would be surrounded by those who cherished her, ready to help her rise from the ashes. Together, they stepped away from the flood-ravaged home, moving toward a future filled with hope and healing. And in that moment, amid the ruins and the uncertainty, the promise of brighter days ahead shone through, brighter because of the unwavering support and love of me, Loy, and CEO Jack. Not content with merely offering Tu Tien a temporary refuge, me, Loy, and CEO Jack were determined to give her something far greater, a new beginning filled with hope and security. They understood that after the destruction and loss she had endured, what she truly needed was a home that would shelter her not only from the storms outside but also from the uncertainty weighing on her heart. So, without telling her, they quietly began planning a magnificent surprise, a stunning white villa built especially for her. The days that followed were filled with purpose and excitement. Me, Loy, with her nurturing spirit and keen eye for detail, worked closely with architects and builders to ensure every element of the villa reflected warmth, elegance, and comfort. Jack, despite the relentless demands of running a major company, made it a point to visit the construction site regularly. He wanted everything perfect, not only because this home was a gift, but because it symbolized their deep care for Tu Tien. They chose a pristine white facade for the villa, a color that symbolized purity, renewal, and hope, everything Tu Tien deserved after the hardships she'd faced. The villa began to take shape on a spacious plot overlooking the tranquil river. Large windows framed breathtaking views of the surrounding greenery, inviting gentle sunlight and soft breezes to fill every room. Inside, no detail was overlooked: soft cream walls, warm wooden floors, and carefully selected furnishings blended sophistication with coziness, creating an atmosphere that immediately felt like home. Every corner was designed to offer comfort and peace, a safe haven where Tu Tien could heal and dream anew. When the villa was finally completed, me, Loy, and Jack decided it was time to reveal their gift. They brought Tu Tien to the grand entrance without warning, watching eagerly as her eyes widened in astonishment. The large wooden doors opened slowly, revealing the bright, welcoming interior. For a moment, the world seemed to hold its breath. Tu Tien stepped inside hesitantly, overwhelmed by the sheer beauty and tranquility surrounding her. The flood of emotions she'd bottled up for so long, relief, joy, gratitude, burst forth like a river breaking through a dam. Tears filled her eyes as she turned to me, Loy, and Jack. "I never imagined, this is more than I could have ever dreamed of," she whispered, her voice trembling. Me, Loy smiled softly, her eyes shining with maternal pride, while Jack gently took Tu Tien's hands in his own, conveying through his touch a promise of unwavering support and love. This villa wasn't just a building, it was a testament to their devotion and belief in a brighter future for her. It was a sanctuary where she could rebuild her life with confidence and grace, surrounded by people who truly cared. More than that, it was a symbol, a fresh start, a beacon of hope in the aftermath of hardship. As Tu Tien wandered through the sunlit rooms, running her fingers over the smooth surfaces and breathing in the scent of fresh paint and polished wood, she felt an overwhelming sense of peace settle over her. The villa seemed to whisper that she was no longer alone, that this was her new beginning, and that the best was yet to come. Outside, the sun dipped low, casting a golden glow over the white walls of the villa. It stood proudly against the backdrop of the lush landscape, a shining promise that even after the darkest storms, beauty and hope could be rebuilt. And as Tu Tien looked out over the river, a small smile touched her lips, a smile of gratitude, resilience, and love. Standing in the heart of the pristine white villa, Tu Tien felt a profound wave of emotion sweep over her. The walls, gleaming softly in the warm afternoon light, seemed to embrace her with an invisible hug, as if the house itself were alive, breathing, comforting, and promising a future unburdened by the past. Every corner held a silent testament to the love and dedication poured into this sanctuary by Loy and CEO Jack, two souls who had become her family, her strength, and her hope. She paused by the grand window that framed the sprawling garden outside, a garden already blooming with vibrant flowers and lush greenery, a symbol of new life and growth. The gentle rustling of leaves in the breeze was like a soothing melody, washing away the lingering sorrow from the flood's aftermath. Here, in this sanctuary of white walls and sunlit rooms, Tu Tien finally allowed herself to breathe deeply, to feel the weight of grief begin to lift from her shoulders. Tears welled up in her eyes, not from sadness, but from overwhelming gratitude. She remembered the dark days when her world was swallowed by mud and water, when she thought she had lost everything. But here, in this new home, she found a sense of peace and belonging she hadn't felt in a long time. Turning to Loy, who stood nearby with a gentle smile, Tu Tien's voice trembled as she spoke. "Thank you, Mom. Thank you for believing in me when I couldn't believe in myself." Jack stepped forward, his presence steady and reassuring. Taking her hands in his, he looked deep into her eyes and said softly, "You've never been alone, Tu Tien. We're here for you, always. This home is yours, but more than that, it's a promise. A promise that together, we will face whatever comes next." His words wrapped around her like a warm blanket, a reminder that no matter how fierce the storms, she had a place to call home and people who would stand by her side. Tu Tien smiled through her tears, feeling a surge of hope and determination rise within her. This villa wasn't just bricks and mortar, it was a fresh start, a canvas on which she could paint her future. Every room whispered possibilities, of laughter, of dreams realized, of love nurtured and shared. It was a place where she could heal, grow, and thrive. In that moment, surrounded by the quiet strength of her new home and the unwavering support of those she loved, Tu Tien felt her heart open to the future. The past, with all its pain and loss, was still a part of her story, but it no longer defined her. Instead, it had made her stronger, more resilient, and ready to embrace the happiness she so deeply deserved. As the sun began to set, casting golden hues across the white walls and illuminating the garden in a soft glow, Tu Tien walked outside. She breathed in the crisp evening air, her eyes reflecting the shimmering river that flowed gently nearby. The world felt vast and full of promise, and she was ready to step forward, into a life filled with love, hope, and endless possibilities. With a heart full of gratitude and eyes shining with renewed purpose, Tu Tien whispered a quiet vow to herself and to the home that now sheltered her, "I will cherish this gift. I will make this house a true home. And I will live my life with courage and joy, for all the love that has brought me here. And so, under the vast expanse of the evening sky, surrounded by the people who loved her most, Tu Tien's new journey began, not as a story of loss, but as a beautiful tale of hope, resilience, and the transformative power of love.